This year's story for Hook, Line, and Chill comes in 3 parts. Today is part 1. It is the story of Mister Funn Man, a story that started in the 90s for me, for one of my cousins who just got out of prison. Johan, he brought up a lot of memories recently, and I told him that we would do the story on Hook, Line, and Chill. He created his own video. He even has a blog, but in the last few days he's actually went missing, and I haven't been able to find his video or his blog, but it should be out there somewhere. Mister Funn Man. But Mister Funn Man actually starts on the islands of Faroe, right above the UK, in the 1800s, the mid-1800s. A pair of twins walking down the street, 6 years old, both of them. One of them was witch-like, already knew dark magic, Tinsel, and the other one was a fire-obsessed twin, Relic. Tinsel and Relic were taken in by the local community there on the island, had a home, and they had a foster family, but they didn't last long. There was fires, people ended up dead, but no one knew if it was them to blame. And for years this went on. And it wasn't until they were teenagers that they were banished from the island. And it wasn't because of the evil that followed them. It was because of the incestual relationship. They had fallen in love. Tinsel and Relic were a couple banished from the island. Scotland, England at the time, they wouldn't take them in. And they ended up in the United States, and at that time they were during the Civil War. So they thought dumping them on the United States at that time was a punishment. So during the Civil War, Tinsel and Relic remained largely under the radar. They still continued their crime spree. They did not have any respect for people. They didn't have respect for normal social standards, and most likely they were responsible for death and fire. It was about 10 years after they got to the United States that the authorities started to recognize their patterns, and then they were on to them. But Tinsel and Relic disappeared. But we found out later, and you will find out in the other parts of the story, that they ended up in Kentucky on a small hog farm. And that is where the Mister Funn Man character started. He was born as a small child named Darvell Funn, the love child between Tinsel and Relic. This is a true story. You could look it up. They tried to banish most of this material off the internet, but there is still some out there. When Darvell was born, Tinsel and him were the only ones. Relic had gone missing. At that time, welding had become a thing, and with the obsession with fire that Relic had, he had become known as Welder Man. And it wasn't just for blacksmithing, it was for torture. He used a welder for a lot of evil things. But at the time, and even till today, no one knows exactly what happened to him. He just disappeared. And Tinsel had Darvell believe that her and him were the only 2 humans on Earth, ever. And Darvell believed every word that she had to say. And she taught him dark magic from the time he was born. And Darvell was in charge of protecting the crops. So he built scarecrows to protect the crops there in Kentucky. And the scarecrows became his only friends. He called them the Fun People, or the Fun Men. And he dressed up in his own scarecrow costume. And of course he called himself Mister Funn Man. His last name being Funn, of course. Darvell Funn was a sadistic child, based on his journals and the information we have available. Torturing animals, he preferred his scarecrow friends over the living animals because the animals left him. They would die, but his scarecrow friends would never leave him. But when he was 11, something happened. And that'll be in the next video, guys. I'm Michael, and I am with Ashley. She's a witch and a twin. We got 50 hooks out here, guys. It's going to get dark if we don't get going. All right, guys, we got 13 hooks right in here. There's a trot line with 10 hooks on it. We got 3 limb lines. We're gonna start with these limb lines. It had all small pieces of cut bait and small goldfish. Ashley is a witch. We should probably get her to model before it gets dark. She is she went the extra mile. She brought the boots and she's got the hat. She did the makeup. It's a good one. And
you guys like
the
this
hair,
haircut?
of course.
The
I've
haircut
never seen
color,
Ashley.
Does it match me?
I've never seen Ashley with anything but red hair. Looks good though. She gets out of the car and I was like, wow.
It's like she really went all out. Because I messaged him, I was like, I'm gonna be a couple minutes late. I was like, this costume was a lot more work than what I thought. Because the wig, I thought would come with the cap. But apparently they're sold separately. And as you know, I've got a lot of hair to shove underneath here.
I got these kind of on bottom, so just make sure you don't have to pull it all the way up. Last video we caught a big old fish on a limb line and it wasn't moving much. So we just gotta make sure. One thing we forgot was Ashley's broom, but I believe you guys could tell that she is a witch. We always do themed stories or costumes as well. This year's story is a little different, but it does involve a witch-like person named Tinsel, Darville Funn's mom, who created Mister Funn Man. But nothing. All right. Something? No. Nothing. All right, we got the trot line here. 10 hooks. So do you like the fall? What is your favorite time of the year, Ashley?
Oh, summer.
Summer.
Yeah, I'm not a cold weather person.
Yeah, it is not exactly cold, but it's not hot, that's for sure.
That's easy for him to say. He's wearing that big heavy coat.
This is part of the costume. Actually, I just thought a regular shirt with a welding mask would not look right, so I had to wear something. And the fact that it's a little chilly also helped that decision. All right, let's see if we can get a fish. We are hunting for the big fish, guys. And we're going to catch a fish over 40 pounds. A flathead is what I promised.
Yeah, he wasn't satisfied with the blue cats over 40 pounds.
Yeah, we've been catching a lot of blue cats, that's for sure. And I like that, it's fun, but at the same time, I want a few big flatheads, to be honest. We're fishing for a little bit of food today. I got some people that are wanting a mess of fish, so hopefully we can get a few. Actually, let's go ahead and say it. Let's hope we get one. One fish. But the fish are gonna bite, guys. It's getting cool. Water temperature's dropping. This morning it was like 69. And
I know, I woke up shivering in my bed. Ooh, I had to put a sweater on.
Yeah, it's supposed to continue to be somewhat cold. So, and in my opinion, the fish will bite from 60 degrees to 70 degrees water temperature, and also from 70 to 60. And we're on that downward slope right now. Anything else exciting going on in your life right now?
My sister just had a baby.
Ashley's sister Jada had her baby. Some of you may be following along well enough to know that Ashley has a twin sister. She lives down in Florida, and she has been pregnant this year. She was actually on video at the beginning of the year, and she was pregnant. And she just had her baby. And all is well, as far as I know.
Yes, it is.
Feel anything? This line, we've caught one big one and a bunch of small ones, but we've also not caught anything a few times too. But any bait at all on these hooks?
No, there's been some skipjack, but on one, just one that I saw. The rest of them have been cleaned. And I don't feel anything, so if there's one down here, it's not a whopper.
Well, sometimes the whoppers will not move at all.
Oh, there's bubbles right there, though.
Yeah, you would have felt him by now. If he was
Just-
right there. Well, if it's on the bottom, over here it gets real heavy. And let's just pull it all the way up. Again, guys, we got 2 more lines. That's it. Yeah, 2 more lines down the way. But we are going to catch the big fish, guys, so just continue watching.
Yeah, I'm ready to play the game.
We're going to play Fish of Fortune if we can catch fish over 10 pounds. Any fish.